to a bonus episode of the Screaming Cinema Podcast. I'm Max and joined here by James Cole Clay. This is going to be a awesome special edition where we're going to be discussing upcoming Blu-ray releases and a couple stacks here to go through to maybe share some of our favorites from the last few months or things that we got in for review. So how you doing today, man?
Dude, I'm busy, so busy with work today, and that makes me very happy. So anyway, nobody cares about that, but I need to work to get the Blu-rays, right?
Exactly, especially the ones you don't get in for review, man.
So I'm very, very fortunate to get so many great stuff in for review. But man, I have a whole thing here, since we have a visual component here, a whole list of things I wrote down on a piece of printer paper. So
all right,
I got
we've been trying to do this. Tabs.
We've just been trying to do this for a while. I mean, you know, it seems like, I was really excited when we met that I had another friend now who was into physical media. And so since I've been on the podcast more regularly, I've been like itching for us to do this. And my love for physical media has only gotten more intense in the age of COVID. So I'm stoked, dude. I mean, there's so many good things that we've been getting, and hopefully some other things that we will get, and things that are coming out that we'll have to shell out some money for. So
exactly. Definitely lucky to get anything in for review. But man, I don't know about you. I've been doing this thing where I go like to a sale or to a boutique label and put like $800 of stuff in my cart and then slowly start to whittle it out and then just close it out because it's just too much. Like you get too far down the rabbit hole where you're like, do I even want this movie, or am I just like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, it's a total dopamine rush, like total for me. I mean, that it really gets me going. I really can feel the colors on like some artwork like really stimulate me. And I'll do that too. I did that last week with the Criterion flash sale, and I ended up not getting anything, which I'm really proud of myself, because I was like, I have to show some restraint at some point. Otherwise, like, what am I doing here? You know, I don't want to be one of those people that just has everything.
Nope.
But at the same time, I really have made it a big thing for me just to focus on these boutique labels in terms of like what I show my money out to for the most part. I mean, I buy some 4Ks from like Best Buy like that, but I love like being like, well, what if I just spent $800 right now? Man, that would be fun. And then I start to think about, this is really random, but then I start to think about like celebrities. Are they doing that? Like, do they just get to go and just like, you know what? I want every single Criterion. If you're loaded, like, you know, how cool would that be? Just but you know what? Fuck it. Today I'm buying every single Criterion.
I know. I guess they have some restraint too, because if you watch the Criterion Closet, they like get all excited when they get in there and grab everything. Yeah. But some of them, they grab like their own movies too. Like, how does that work? Do you get sent a copy of every physical media release of your own movies? Do you have to buy all that stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would think they would give them a copy of their own movie, just as like, even if they're not in contact with them, like, hey, you know, thanks.
Exactly.
So, anyway, so do you have any? You have your list of things you want to talk about, and then we have our stacks, right?
Yes. Yeah. For my list, I know you covered a lot of the main stuff up through May. I just have the Arrow releases pulled up so we can talk about them, because I reviewed the majority of those ones.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just now starting to finally be able to wrap my mind around Arrow, so I am like all in with them in Kino this year. So shout out to my contacts at Kino and Arrow for keeping the movies coming. So what I did essentially, Max, was I went through several. I mean, this is not like comprehensive, people, so don't get on me. But here's just like a list of, and I'm not just gonna ring them out now. Blu-rays that are coming out between now of this recording, which is the first week of March, and through May, essentially. So. I have about 24 movies here. I'm not going to go through all of them and go in detail in all of them, but I also want you to chime in, because I know there's some ones that we've talked about off mic that we're both excited about. And I think that we both may be getting. I think some of these are actually coming to my doorstep today. So let's take it away, though. Where do you want to start, man? What label do you want to start with?
I mean, the main stuff I have is Arrow, so if you want to kick off for a little bit, and then we can go through Arrow after that.
Okay, cool. So there is a company called Mill Creek Entertainment that puts out a lot of really random stuff. And this next month, like, so essentially what they do, I'll show you. Oh, I have one that I'm going to show you in my stack, actually. They do these like VHS ones. Okay.
Yep.
They look like VHSs. Most of them are from Sony TriStar from like the 80s and 90s. But the list of movies is really funny, like Blind Fury, Gorillas in the Mist, The Freshman with Matthew Broderick, this bomb called Hudson Hawk. Yeah, Hudson Hawk with
Bruce Willis.
So that's stuff like that. Like, and they always have really cool artwork. So they're actually releasing a steelbook of the BMX movie Rad. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, that's all the
80s.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the Vinegar Syndrome 4K of it, but I'm also going to snag this steelbook. And I really suggest anybody who likes kind of cheesy 80s and like stunts and like kind of Hot Rod energy, that movie Hot Rod with Andy Samberg. So if you kind of like that, but like done earnestly, this one is pretty solid. Have you seen, and I didn't get the date for that. It comes out sometime this month. I'll let you know at some point. But have you seen Psycho Gorman yet? Gorman PG?
Nope, I haven't watched it yet.
So this is coming out 3/16. So it's 2 weeks from today, I guess, the day we're recording it. And I love it so much. And I'm hoping that I'll get a review copy of this sent to me. But if not, it comes out then, and I will gladly shell out the $20 to get it. But I talked about this on, I think, 2 episodes ago, something like that.
Who's releasing it?
It's RLGE is releasing it. And I just emailed them today, but nobody cares about that but me, to get a copy, but we'll see. And then it's also getting a release from Raven Banner out of Canada. Raven Banner is really cool, and they have like a deluxe edition coming out. So check that out.
Nice.
I think it's like $40 or something like that. But yeah. So there's that.
Rad is coming Mill Creek on March 16th. So same time as Psycho Gorman, 2 weeks from now.
Same time. Is there anything else from... Oh, here's a couple of things from March here that I have way down here. We'll go in order. Let's see here. Did you get The Forest, a horror movie called The Forest, in the mail from Kino Lorber?
No.
So I didn't either, and I'm sad about it because it looks like a total B horror movie. This comes out next Tuesday, and it looks pretty cool. The artwork is pretty sweet. Like sometimes Kino Lorber on their studio classics, they'll put a slipcover on there, and I love that because I'm obsessed with those things.
What year is it?
It is, so it's not the 2016 version with Natalie Dornan.
Yeah, that's like the main one you can find where she goes to the Japanese suicide forest, and it's like a J-horror knockoff.
Yeah, it's not that. It's from 1982.
Okay.
It's a slasher, and let's see here. Yeah, man, it's called the tagline is "Daddy's Gone a Hunting." So it doesn't have anybody that you know in it.
Of course not.
But yeah, I didn't get this one, and I'm sad. I always get FOMO. But I think for B-level horror fans who weren't able to snag that Scream Factory release of Twice Dead and The Terror Within 1 and 2, they released like 1,000 of those. This could maybe scratch that itch for people. But that's The Forest. I've never seen it, but I like the artwork. Nice. Do you see the artwork?
Yeah, guy peering out from behind a tree with a knife.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's good.
So, and then there's one that you and I did talk about that I am supremely excited about, and I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on it, is the World of Wong Kar-wai box set Criterion. What do you think about that?
So Chungking Express is out of print, and that's going for like, before this announcement was going for like what, like 120 on eBay?
Yeah,
something like that. So that's kind of what I look at it. Like, I wasn't willing to pay that for it, but it'll probably be one of those ones where I don't buy it right away, but I'll, one of these sales, whether it's July or November, try to take advantage of it then and probably end up picking it up.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm gonna do too. I've seen a few Wong Kar-wai films that are in Chungking Express and In the Mood for Love, and I mean, he's definitely like, you got to get on his wavelength. Have you seen any of his stuff?
Just Chungking Express I watched on Criterion Channel.
Nice. Yeah, very moody, very dreamy. I like that kind of stuff. As somebody who's obsessed with David Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I just am such a sucker for like a big box set. Like, how does your Bergman set look?
Yeah,
Like,
I have it right here too because
oh,
I have
nice. Let me
nowhere
see.
to put it.
That's hilarious.
It's as big as my face.
Yeah, there's nowhere to put that. And how much did you
No.
pay for that, if you don't mind me asking?
It was half, so I think 140, something like that. I
Pretty
think they're in
good.
the sale.
That's pretty good.
Especially
You
if
can't get
like
a piece of that.
it's one of those sets where unless you don't have a job or like you get to watch movies all day, you can't justify like I'm gonna be watching it soon. Like they have a film festival is how it's laid out and how you should need to watch it, and I'd love to do that.
Oh,
But
really?
for me, I'm just gonna kind of do one-offs for a while and then just kind of assume I'll watch it eventually all together.
That's fun. Like every
Yeah.
couple months. Have you started with anything in that set yet?
Yeah, I sent what am I spacing on the name of it? The one
First time?
where no, I think it was the
Seven
one where
Seal?
yep, Seven Seal.
That was cool, right?
Yep.
With Max von Sydow?
Yep. So I watched
Yeah,
that one so far, and that's about as far as I got. I actually watched. I've been watching special features before I watch movies lately because I feel like once I finish it, I'll just like take it out and kind of forget about watching the special features. So that's what I've been trying to do. At least like pick my favorite of the bunch and check that out. So they had a cool kind of history with him in there that I watched.
that is really cool. Yeah, so that's kind of why I like to get a big director set. I kind of want the Agnes Varda one too.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of other things. Finally, Event Horizon is coming out on 323 from Scream Factory. Are you a fan of Event Horizon?
Yep, I picked up just a regular Blu-ray copy of it. I think it was like 3 years ago, and I really liked it. The artwork on that Scream Factory one is horrible, though.
Yeah, it's like I don't really I don't even know what it is. I haven't even really looked at it that hard, and that's
It's
not a good sign.
it's like a drawing of it. Like they have really good artists do a lot of the pieces
Right.
that I really like a lot, but it just looks like just not that
Bland.
great. Yeah, it looks like the artist maybe it wasn't his best work, but
It's funny. But I'm excited for it
yeah.
nonetheless.
Yep.
I'm really curious what they're gonna do, how their special feature gonna be, because this movie has been delayed. This release has been delayed so many times. I think that is really bad. Oh
Uh,
wow.
I have it
Yeah.
up here. A ton of new stuff. New 4K scan, interview with Paul W.S. Anderson, interview with the writer. It looks like they didn't get Sam Neill for something new, but they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 new interviews. So that's not bad.
That's insane. I just hope they're well produced. That's my thing. Because
What do you
Criterion
think?
is doing their best with Zoom calls and stuff on some of their Blu-rays. But
Ah, interesting.
Screams have been, like, yeah, I'll talk about one later when I talk about my stack. But yeah.
What do
So
you
we'll see.
What do you think about when they do that? Like, I like it better when you have a piece together, like 25-minute feature on everything rather than having to try to go through. And I'm not going to watch 12 interviews, especially not with the production manager or the second unit director. Like, so
Right.
you miss those nuggets that they would say if you kind of put the
Yeah.
best of everyone else on like a 25-minute one. So I prefer it that way.
Me
I feel
too.
like I get a lot more out of it, but I mean,
Very
this
well
looks
said.
better on paper.
Yeah, you do get more out of it if it's like, yeah, and we can talk about that a little more because my favorite stuff is when you do have like an hour long documentary just about the movie. There's one, for example, like on Tenet, that has all of these really great things
Yep.
in it. But I'll talk about the Zoom stuff whenever I go through my pick. So Event Horizon's cool. There's a French film called Raw that I love. I think I've talked about it on the podcast a lot. That's coming out from Scream Factory.
Yep.
But what I did was I think we talked about it on the last episode, didn't we? Raw.
Yeah. Yeah. Tyler watched it. It was dropped on Netflix.
Yeah. So yeah, it used to be on Netflix, but I have it on digital, and so I wanted the Blu-ray, and our buddy Preston texted me. He said I found one on eBay as we were recording, and it was in London, and so I had to make an offer of it, and I paid like £35 for it or something like that. Something
Nice.
crazy. So, but it's a really cool addition to that film. So anyway, So let's see. There's that. As far as one more. Gattaca is coming on Steelbook 4K with Ethan Hawke. Have you ever seen Gattaca?
I haven't.
Man, Sony's releasing it, but they're tough to get stuff from. I really want to. I might get it because I'm a big Ethan Hawke fan, but that's a cool movie if you checked it out. Gattaca is really good. Let's see here. For April, I have Spaceballs 4K coming out from Kino Lorber.
All right. Wait, let me. I got the Arrow March releases here. If you want to go in sequential order.
Please. Yes, go.
It looks like everything is both UK and USA in March, which is nice. They're re-releasing American Werewolf in London in a steelbook or a steelbook with a slipcase. I have that limited edition release, and it was my favorite of the year when it dropped, whatever it was, 2019 or end of 2020. That is an awesome one. Like literally special features that you can't even go through. It has the back of the box. It's like that long and in like 5 style 5 print.
What does the slipcover look like? Over the steel case. I didn't know that
it doesn't look great. It's like a postcard. It's on the steelbook regular one. It has him as the human version of the werewolf, and then it's got a couple werewolves on either side. The one I have over here with the slipcase looks like a postcard. It's got like a London Bridge and some balloons and the Slaughtered Lamb logo and a London logo. It's kind of weird.
Are you seeing this on MVD's website?
No, I'm just on Arrow's Facebook page on their releases. So.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to check it out.
Yep, that's getting re-released, and then they are doing a Invisible Man double feature. The Invisible Man Appears and the Invisible Man vs. the Human Fly. Nice. That's kind of the one I'm most excited about this month. I haven't seen a ton on the special features. It looks like they're going to have some trailers and image galleries for both films, collectible booklet, and an interview with Kim Newman on the history of the Invisible Man. So,
have you gotten these in the mail yet?
I have not got these in the mail yet.
Nor have I. I am itching to see those Invisible Man movies.
I know. I actually started the original series. I have the Universal Monsters box set, so
me too.
I've watched a few of those.
Do you have this one right here? Let's take a little detour. Do you have this one?
No, I have the big one.
Oh, the 30 pack?
Yeah, with all of them.
So those Arrow releases are in there then?
I think so. I don't know about the Human Fly one, but the one that you have, I had that version and I sold it on eBay for like $15 when the other one was on sale for like $60 to kind of recoup the costs a little bit.
Yeah, nice. I got a great deal on this one. But yeah, I love old monster movies.
Yep. Other one I have here is Bloodhound. Never heard of it actually. It looks like it's from actually 2020, so it's a new release.
Yeah.
Audio commentary, 4 experimental shorts, and a behind the scenes of the Modern Chiller exclusive 45-minute making of featurette. So that's what we got from March from Arrow.
Nice. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I'm getting down an Arrow rabbit hole. I'll try to find that steelbook later.
Yeah.
So for April, I had Spaceballs in 4K coming out. Did you ever like Spaceballs growing up?
No, I didn't. I have the special, I don't know, whatever it's called, like the special release Blu-ray version that they put out of it. And I haven't watched it, but I got it in for review.
Oh, really? Like, is it a recent release?
I think it was like a year and a half ago. I got it from MVD when it came out, but
okay, cool.
Not the biggest fan of that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but I did like it as a kid. But there's one that I do love that's coming out is The Good, and the Ugly from Kino Lorber on 4/27. Have you ever seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
Yeah, I have all of their Blu-rays of the trilogy.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm really excited. I think I'm getting that like in the mail, like possibly while we're recording. So I'm really excited. And then here's a movie I did not like that I was very disappointed in, but I don't know if it was just me or what, but people love this movie. It's coming out from Criterion on 4/20, and that's Bong Joon-ho's Memories of Murder. Have you seen this yet?
I started it. I can't remember where I rented it and I started it, but I didn't finish it because I just had watched Parasite, and I wanted to follow it up, but I hadn't get it all done. I watched Host, which I liked, and then I heard really good things
Host
about
is
this, but
good.
I haven't seen the whole thing. But the Criterion looks awesome, and I've heard really good things, like you mentioned.
I just didn't like it. I don't know, but maybe I'll get it. I don't know, but the thing that I'm interested in to see is how Criterion covers this movie, and like how it's just now come to America based upon the success of Parasite, and I
Yeah.
just find that really interesting to me. So there is that. I guess I don't have much for April. Let me look into a separate note. I mean, this is not, like I said, this isn't
No, I can
gonna
go
be.
through Arrow's April because they have a ton. Um, in April, they're releasing in the U.S. It looks like Death Has Blue Eyes, The Switchblade Sisters. They're doing a UK and Canada of Clapboard Jungle. They're re-releasing Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and the Steelbook. I just have the regular Blu-ray of that one. And then
Nice.
in the UK only, they're releasing a badass battle royale, like huge
Oh, I
box set,
know.
and that looks awesome. I did just get a region-free player, but I'd have it in my smaller TV, and I don't really move it around yet, so I'm kind of just, trying to limit those purchases. But
Gotcha.
the big piece for April for them is the Donnie Darko 4K limited edition set. You and I talked about this one because the Blu-ray sets, the limited edition version's been out of print for a while and selling for a ton of money. So
Yes.
being able to get a similar package in 4K for whatever you said,
Better.
$50 looks awesome.
So worth
Yeah,
it.
better. And I don't know if you've gotten any Aero 4Ks yet, but something interesting they do, they don't include the digital, or not digital, they don't include the Blu-ray version of it. So everything you get in there is 4K. So for this one, it's going to have 2 discs, one with the theatrical cut in 4K and one with the director's cut in 4K, which is interesting because I'm used to kind of getting a Blu-ray with it, depending on what system I want to watch it on. But
Right.
both of these are in 4K, and it looks like, all the same special features as the other ones with multiple audio commentaries. I remember you said you watched the director's cut, and it's way too long on this one, right?
Yeah, it's weird, man. It gives away everything. But I mean, I would definitely say Donnie Darko is in probably my top 10 favorite movies of all time. So this is like huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked for this. And the artwork is cool. So I mean, yeah, it seems kind of too good to be true. And I'm like, oh God, even though I pre-ordered mine on Amazon and I'm in contact with Arrow Video in the States, I'm like nervous. I'm like, oh, I hope I get mine. I hope I get it. But yeah, man, it's gonna probably be like $200 or $300 or something like that if you don't get it. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
Don't miss out.
so yeah, that's the big one I'm excited about. And I'm sure there's a lot more stuff that's coming out and things that we may mention in passing on the podcast proper,
Mm-hmm.
but that's all I really have that I'm super excited about for April. Let's move on to May, which
Yep.
brings 3 things that I'm really excited about from Scream Factory, Shout Factory. There's 3 items there, and then there is 1 Criterion that I'm supremely excited about, and then 2 4K releases from Disney that I'm really stoked about that I kind of don't think are. It seems kind of too good to be true too. So from Scream Factory, tell me if you like these movies. Speaking of bad artwork, let's talk about some good artwork that they have. King Kong is coming out on 5/11 from Scream Factory. That's the one with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange in it from the 70s.
First time on Blu-ray too, right?
I think so. Yeah, I this movie's really silly, but I think I'm gonna have to snag it. I love the artwork too much, and I like monsters. What can I say? So I'm pretty
this
stoked.
definitely has good artwork, and I was the same way. I almost pre-ordered it, but then I didn't. So we'll have to see as it gets closer if I end up pulling the trigger or not.
That's kind of where I'm at too. But I think I'm gonna have to snag it. I like the artwork too much. Another one is a movie I legit haven't seen since I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. I had a VHS tape of it. It's The Explorers with one of my favorite actors on the planet. Again, Ethan Hawke as a kid. Have you ever seen The Explorers?
I haven't, but this artwork looks great too.
Yep, it is an awesome 80s movie that doesn't get as much credit as it should. So
River Phoenix, Ethan Hawke, baby.
Dude, yeah, right? Right? So it's good. It's damn good. And I'm really stoked for it. That's not coming out till almost June. And then The Nest is coming out on May 18th with Jude Law and Carrie Coon. The movie came out last year, so that's coming out. It's another fantastic movie. One of my favorite films of the past year or two. So
I'll have to pick that up. I haven't seen that.
Oh man, it's wonderful. It's one of those movies that you just don't know what kind of movie it is going to be until the very end. It's awesome. And then really quickly here, Fast Times at Ridgemont High is coming out from Criterion on 5/11, which is so cool. I hope that they continue to do more stuff like this in The Breakfast Club because I love 80s movies. I love 80s teen movies, especially. The John Hughes stuff is really problematic, but it is totally my shit. I love John Hughes.
Oh yeah,
so,
they drop in homophobic slurs
so
all day long.
Offensive.
But
dude, it's crazy.
It's just hard to. I mean, you can't just delete film like that because of the time. Yeah,
that's how it was, dude. I had people say that kind of stuff to me in high school all the time.
Yes.
So speaking of Fast Times, folks, hold on one second here. Let me check it out. Boom.
Hey.
So I'm a fan. So anyway, yeah, that's coming out from Criterion. Amy Heckerling directed that movie. She also directed one of my all-time favorite movies, Clueless, as well. So that is a masterpiece of a movie to me. And then the one thing that I think that's going to be interesting for us to talk about is Disney is getting back into the 4K game and not just releasing stuff like Mulan. Word on the street is on 5/25, and I asked the Disney publicist that I know to confirm this, and they would not. This was like a month ago, but Speed and Heat are coming to 4K.
All right.
From Disney, and they're going to be releasing now Fox backlog catalog stuff. So I was pretty shocked that was going to happen. I haven't gotten a press release for it or anything like that, but the word is that is going to happen. So I'm really excited. But Heat already has a 4K restoration from a Blu-ray they released a few years ago. Do you like these? Did you grow up with these movies at all?
Heat, yeah.
What about Speed? No love for Speed?
I mean, not just obviously saw it when I was a kid, but whole franchise always good. Love Keanu Reeves, just being himself.
Oh man, I love Keanu. He says pop quiz hole. I love that shit.
Yeah.
But
Speed is
Heat
great, though.
is Heat is one of the best movies ever, as far as I'm concerned. It's just fantastic. So yeah, man, I'm really excited about that. I mean, do you think would you be excited if they keep releasing Fox stuff back catalog? Or?
It depends on what it is, right? So a ton of 4K stuff is getting released in back catalog. I feel like there's not really a rhyme or reason to what's getting released. I think they're looking at big anniversaries.
Yeah.
So doing that, they're looking at if there's a remake or reimagining, doing that. And then beyond that, it's just the most random stuff comes out. You'll get one part of a trilogy on 4K, and then are the other ones coming out or not? It's just kind of
right.
All over the place. But I'm happy with anyone just putting stuff out there, their backlog into 4K, continuing physical media, and then picking up kind of whatever I don't get sent to me.
Yeah, me too, man. I definitely try to stay under budget every month, and I fail miraculously, even though I get a ton of stuff sent to me. So I can't imagine how much I would be hurting otherwise.
Yep.
I'd be hurting if I didn't have this stuff, and I'd be hurting if I did. So it's you're screwed either way. So was there anything else? There's some good stuff in May coming out from Arrow, right?
Yep. They have a Ghost Waits. There is, let's see here, Giants and Toys. Django is finally coming out.
Oh yeah, Django's is that a special edition?
I think it's a 4K. They had issues with that, like they were going to release it, and then I don't remember what was happening with it, but there was a bunch of issues where like they sent out some of them, and then retailers pulled. So it looks like they got all that stuff figured out. So it's coming out in 4K in May, and then their big release for May is 12 Monkeys Steelbook with a rigid slipcase. Looks like it has a poster and some other components too there, so that looks like their kind of big release
What do
for
you think
May.
about that movie? Have you ever seen that?
I have not. It's been on my list to watch, and now I'll probably wait till that comes out to check it out. I think it got on my list when I was looking at I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like some kind of series, and I wanted to watch things similar to it for a list, but no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've only seen bits and pieces of it too. So I mean, I haven't. But I don't. I'm not super into it for whatever reason. I don't know. I gotta kind of maybe come around to it. Maybe I will now. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. That's cool. I'm pretty excited. There's a couple of ones. I mean, they're not Arrow releases, but that movie Perdita Durango. Are you familiar with that coming out? And then Day of the Beast.
Yep.
Those are coming out from Severin, right?
Those are Blue Underground.
Blue Underground.
Yep, they've been doing a ton of their 4K backlog. I think I heard the main guy who puts out all their stuff too is on a podcast talking about it. Like they have all these 4K scans already, so they're working on putting out like at least one a month or one every other month from their catalog. So
that's awesome. Do you have these? Do you have any Blue Underground titles?
Yep.
The New York Ripper.
Yep, I have New York Ripper. I have House by the Cemetery in the Blu-ray special edition and the 4K. So I like all of them.
Nice.
Come with like the audio soundtrack, and the Blu-ray ones have the cool I don't know what you call it, where like the scene moves.
Oh, like lenticular.
Yep, lenticular slipcovers on those.
That's fantastic, man.
Yep.
I'm really excited to get those. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. I don't know much about those films, but dude, I'm down to walk down the wild side with these guys down this. So I guess should we get to our stacks?
Yes, let's do